Welcome to the SFL Today. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Andy Hamilton, I'm Cameron Irvine. 5 games of SFL action in the books. One still left to come tonight with the Alaska Storm traveling to Dallas to take on the Ruffnecks in a rematch of the Western Conference Final. Very briefly, we will break down all the stats and give you some analysis of what all happened around the league this week so far. In case you missed any action or you want to relive all of it again, we're here to assist you. We'll start briefly with St. Louis and Queen City, Andy. This one was a rout from the start, and Queen City, I'm not so sure that this was about St. Louis as much as it was about Queen City, in my view, because the Corsairs don't usually play like this at the beginning of the year.
True. Usually they're a second half team in terms of a season, but I mean, Kyle Walsh came out today and showed the St. Louis defense, which we've been talking about all offseason, what was up right out of the gate with a huge performance on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, by the way, we got Andy turned up, so if you're typing in the chat, we can't hear Andy. We got you. You were just a little soft. No need to repeat yourself. Yeah, 588 total yards for Queen City compared to just 214 for St. Louis. That was a rout of epic proportions, no doubt about that. Queen City finished with 318 yards on the ground, including 288 coming from Kyle Walsh on 31 carries. Quite an impressive showing indeed. T.E. Haynes also a little bit overshadowed by the running game, but he had a $163, 7 receptions and a touchdown. And on the defensive side, St. Louis, Freeman Peltier, 13 tackles. Davidson, 11 tackles. Friday, 8 tackles. But, man, how about that Alex Cross? What a way to make a name for yourself.
What a rookie first game. Can you believe that? I don't know, like you were mentioning, I think Avery King might have been the best comparable performance. And that game that he played in as a rookie wasn't going his way. So an amazing game from Cross. I'm looking forward to see what he can do for the rest of the season. And Eric knows what he's doing with these linebackers. So that's another good, a great game for him. And I'm really looking forward to a good season coming from him.
All right, let's move on. The San Antonio Vaqueros went to Oklahoma City to take on the Renegades. Renegades have made it 6 straight seasons without the playoffs. San Antonio's a brand new team. Coming over from Houston is Greg Morris. And it was a rough debut for San Antonio, like a St. Louis. There are the stats to final score. Oklahoma City gets the win 28-17. Pete Bruschi, 141 yards and 3 touchdowns. But Tiberius Bovine really showed up. 13 receptions for 161 yards and a score. We've got the stats pulled up. Andy, you saw the game. What stood out to you about Oklahoma City today?
Sure. Well, obviously Bovine, but for me it was Bruschi who was running all over the place. The old man still can get it done. 3 touchdowns coming from him, 141 yards, and Bruschi is still good, and Michael Irvine has quite an offense put together. But the one thing I did see and notice in the game was that the Vaqueros were not at any point necessarily out of contention. They did have a rough go of it here and there, but they were always kind of within striking distance. The real circle mark is the 3 turnovers. However, their defense kept a lot of the points off the board coming off of those 3 turnovers. So, a rough day for the Vaqueros, but definitely something you can build off of.
Yeah, Oklahoma City never really could quite put them away. A nice Bruschi run in the third definitely gave them some breathing room. And the Renegades get off to a hot start, 1-0. Fun fact, Oklahoma City has never started 2-0, and they have the Vancouver Legion next week. So that'll be an interesting game for sure as Oklahoma City tries to go for history. And speaking of history, Pete Bruschi got the record for most rushing touchdowns of any player in SFL history, passing Parkey Chol. So that was pretty cool too.
Always is when you rewrite the record books.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Houston and Sioux Falls battled in South Dakota, and this one was controlled by Houston much of the way. Sioux Falls made it a game. Two teams high in the power rankings, but the Houston Hyenas on the road get the win 33-27. Check out the stat line for Cody Cantrell. He had just 6 incomplete passes on the road, 20 of 26, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, and did not throw an interception. Blake Chance in his first game, the former Skyhawk, now in Houston, 6 tackles, 2 passes defended, along with 2 interceptions. Tremendous game for Chance in his Houston debut. Jalen Miller, 7 catches, 131 yards in the loss, as he is the new primary target for Sioux Falls now that Jordan Jennings is in San Antonio. A breakdown of the team stats follows, and it was just interesting that Houston started an average from their own 40-yard line. They never really had to go the length of the field much today.
Right, a great starting field position. Nearly every time that I turned around and Houston had the ball, they were already on, close to midfield or already across midfield. And that's going to help Cantrell there in keeping that interception ratio down, is that, if he's starting across the 40 every single time, he's not going to have to throw deep very often because he can kind of keep it. So really good for DeMond and the Hyenas to keep that turnover mark at 0. And a good win. They had to fend off Sioux Falls, who is a great team, in their first game in the West, and they did just that. So congrats and hats off to DeMond. And I'm sure we'll see Jason staying close and probably on top of quite a few more games this coming season.
Yeah, Sioux Falls definitely is no slouch. They never are. And a really quality win for Houston to go on the road. Not many people win in Sioux Falls. So a really nice job there by the Hyenas. All right, well, next up, we head to Raleigh, where we had plenty of drama in this one. Johnny English gets hurt in the second quarter. He was done for the day, so Carolina had to make do without him. And for a long time, they did just that. Carolina and Atlanta, 2 teams that were 5-7 in last year's playoffs. Carolina makes the playoffs. Atlanta doesn't make the playoffs, but these 2 teams coming in very evenly matched. The interesting thing was that Carolina had a brand new coaching staff, and how would they look against a quality SFL opponent? Well, I think they probably looked pretty good. 23-17 loss, but that was without Johnny English for the majority of the game, and they hung with Atlanta all the way through. The Swarm get the 6-point victory without BDG Hollywood and Boo Chisholm. Atlanta definitely does not win this game. 293 yards and the 2 touchdowns for Atlanta between them. That accounts for about 70% of the total offensive yardage for the Swarm. This was a sloppy one. Defenses played really well, and it was just a rough game out there.
Yeah, you mentioned that the Carolina offense looked strong. If Johnny English would have been on that field, I might not be too far off in saying that this result could have been swung the other way. Carolina did have a touchdown with the generic running back, as well as that they had a pick 6 return called back for a offsides penalty. So Carolina, was close to it, but just a little short. Johnny English going down definitely didn't help that. And Atlanta squeaks by on the legs solely pretty much of BDG Hollywood. 153 yards is a great start. It doesn't look like very much compared to the efforts of Walsh and Brewski today, but
right.
I mean, it gets the job done in Carolina. So Atlanta goes on the road and steals one. And, hats off to Mark. I'm sure him not making the playoffs last year and Carolina making it was kind of some fuel to the fire for this opening game here. So congrats to Mark for getting the win, and I'm sure James, Heath, and Mark will come back strong next week.
Pete Brewski, Kyle Walsh having some phenomenal days, but there's still one more running back that had an excellent day. Tallahassee and Baltimore, a clash of 2 teams, 2 storied franchises, 2 teams used to making the playoffs. It was interesting looking back at the record books. Tallahassee had not been to Baltimore in over 2 years to play a game. That seems crazy for these 2 teams that have been in the league for so long. And this one was controlled primarily by Tallahassee today, but Baltimore came back fighting with a vengeance. In the end, The Tallahassee Pride kick a game-winning field goal as time expires and beats the Crabs 40-37 in an epic game. J. Calvin Kim had 203 rushing yards, the second running back along with Kyle Walsh to top the 200-yard mark in his first game really of superstardom in Tallahassee. Christian Christensen, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no picks, was outstanding at quarterback for the Pride, and Kendall Gilbert put his team on his back, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 receptions. Baltimore had 10 more first downs, 7 more minutes of time of possession, but Andy, look at those turnovers and points off turnovers.
Right. Incredible. I mean, the ridiculous amount of turnovers coming from Baltimore, 4, and Tallahassee capitalized on it, 23 points. I mean, you take one of those turnovers off the board and take the points off of it, and, Baltimore comes out of this thing with a win. Hats off to Matt South and TJ. They put on an incredible comeback press and got there, but it just wasn't enough as the defense couldn't hold Tallahassee from hitting that field goal as time expired. J. Calvin Kim, incredible yards. Christensen does his thing, 4 touchdowns to no interceptions. Great ratio considering that last year, we were looking at basically 1-for-1 with nearly every quarterback in the league. So quarterbacks this week get off to a great start. Christensen, Cantrell with the no picks. I think that's a good trend that we're seeing. Hats off to Matt South, and TJ for putting up a good effort, and what a game that was. If you guys are looking for one of the better games of this week so far, that I think has got to take the cake for me.
All right, well, it's just about that time to get out to Dallas. We'll go off the air shortly and then resume with action from Big D. Andy Hamilton, thanks for joining us.
No problem. I'll see you all in a few minutes in Dallas.
All righty, Alaska Dallas is coming up next here on the SFL Network on YouTube. Thanks for joining us for the SFL Today.
Okay, are we good?
We're clear.
All right. See you later.
Now, give me 30 seconds and I'll give you the start.
Okay. Jefferson into the open field. No one's going to touch him. Mark it up. Touchdown, Sioux Falls.
40, the 30, and he is gone to the house. Touchdown, Tallahassee.
Tipped and picked off by Colin Douglas, who's going to take it back all the way.
No pass caught, first down. What a move! Dr. Sim, get out of here! The doctor is in for the touchdown!
Ladies and gentlemen, live from Dallas, Texas, this is the final game of the Sunday slate for Week 1 of SFL Season 9. I am your play-by-play commentator, Andy Hamilton, and tonight we have an incredible game, the third meeting between these two teams. The Dallas Ruffnecks host the Alaska Storm here at Mullenex Oil Stadium. There's a look at Max Paul, the coach of the visiting Alaska Storm. Steven Mullenex is the coach for the Dallas Ruffnecks. These two teams are coming in after a season where they both met in the Western Conference Championship last season. Dallas moving on to the championship game and falling just shy of a ring, and now both teams in Season 9 will look to compete again, and they will start here with the kickoff against one another, which we will get to after the coin toss. So Alaska will receive the opening kickoff. Heading back to return it are the Storm wearing white. Dallas in black with the gray pants will line up to kick this one away, and we are underway in this game. The return will come from the 9, coming out across the 25, and stood up at the 29 are the Storm, and that is where their offensive unit will come out. A nice return from Robert Merrill. Leading the team onto the field is a new face. Ron Cochran is the new silver quarterback for the Alaska Storm and Max Paul. Optimus Klein, a returning receiver, moves out from tight end. Robert Merrill, another silver receiver. And Corey Carter completes the receiver core. Another new face. Ash Odom is in the backfield on first down and 10. Cochran hands up the middle. I believe that's the fullback actually on the carry. A nice carry there by Jeff. Nope, excuse me, that is Ash Odom, so a nice carry by Odom there. They fooled even me on the first carry of the game. And there is a look at the new acquisition for the Dallas Ruffnecks. Jace Jefferson, the gold strong safety, coming over from Sioux Falls. His first time in a jersey other than a Sparrow. Cochran, the handoff to Odom. Odom off the right side has enough for the first down to the 40, and Jefferson will cut him down there. Dallas looking for their 25th win in franchise history. They would be the 10th SFL franchise to do that. Alaska looking to say differently and beat the Dallas Ruffnecks for the first time in their franchise history in only their second year in the league. Cochran directing traffic at the line of scrimmage, a 3-2 look for the Dallas Ruffnecks. Handoff, Odom up the middle is smacked down after a gain of 6. A good pickup for him, and Jace Jefferson and Ash Odom are making themselves acquainted early in tonight's contest. Let's take a look at the defense for the Ruffnecks. Troy LaShaw and Jace Jefferson combined for the best safety duo, I'll say it, in the league. They joined Zen Osika and June Fierro as silver cornerbacks in this defense, and then Heath McDaniel Sr. and Bobby Law are the two bronze linebackers that are trying to plug the middle. And offsides, free play, handoff, Ash Odom off the right side. Odom gets the corner and fights his way to the 46, and so they will go ahead and decline this penalty and take the yards that Ash Odom picks up on the ground.
Neutral zone infraction, number 92, defense, the penalty.
So a nice carry by Odom on that play will move the chains for the Storm. A first down in the blue and white jerseys here, looking very nice for Max Paul. 6.5 yards per carry is the average so far, and we'll see if Cochran will keep feeding him. And the handoff goes to Odom up the middle. Odom, plenty of room, fights forward for 9 to the 35 as we take closer to 9 minutes left here in the first quarter. So Cochran coming over and replacing Murdoch Mock for the Alaska Storm. And Cochran doing well so far, but has yet to throw the ball in tonight's contest. However, Alaska is moving all the way into Dallas territory and somewhat taking the crowd out of this game. Cochran is under center and will work the hard count. Hands off, misdirection to Odom. Odom off the right side, breaks one tackle and is pushed down at the 29. And Alaska is within striking distance here on the opening drive of the 9th season of SFL play. So the rookie Cochran leads the team back to the line of scrimmage, and they'll hand it to Odom again. Odom up the middle, shakes one, and will finally be brought down by June Fierro coming off of the left side to bring down Odom. So far, a healthy dosage of running the ball. So Ash Odom replaces Justin Beakley Jr. after last season. Beakley Jr. still a free agent, potentially could be picked up by a team as we are allowing pickups through week 8. Cochran, his first throw of the night, looking deep, got him, and a spin move, a nice grab there, and it's going to be Zeno Sika on the tackle. It's Optimus Klein, the man who moves from tight end to receiver this season, who makes the grab. Cochran on his first throw decided to go for all the marbles, and Klein was almost able to find his way into the end zone, avoiding a Jace Jefferson crunching tackle. So Alaska moves down to the 3. They will put 3 receivers on the left side and hand it to Odom. Odom up the gut will get stopped. Nothing doing. The Roughnecks defense holds strong as number 53, Bobby Law, is able to keep Ash Odom from finding his way to pay dirt. This the 6th game of SFL action today. And let's see if the Storm can find 6 of their own. Handoff, Odom out of the shotgun. He will fight through one tackle, but won't fight through the second one. He's able to shake Billy Joe Bacon, but not able to get past Troy LaShaw. LaShaw is the big man for the Roughnecks. Incredible player, 15 interceptions last season, which led the league in Season 8. And he pairs with Jace Jefferson, like I mentioned, incredible safeties on this Roughnecks team. And it looks like Alaska is trying to stay away from that. 3rd and goal and a third handoff to Odom. He won't get there. The Roughnecks hold. And Alaska is going to be faced with a 4th and goal. An incredible stand there. Jack Sharp, the outside linebacker, coming over to make the play. And the Storm, it looks like, are going to send on the kicking unit. They have a bronze kicker, Kodiak Denali, right there, who will line up to kick it away. Cap Rooney, the backup quarterback, will hold for the Alaska Storm. So Dallas, a goal line stand to start off Season 9, and they will hold Alaska to 3 points here as Denali hits from 17 yards. It's 3-0 Alaska on top on the road. Denali celebrates the field goal, and Alaska is in the lead here in Dallas. So the Denali field goal is the difference, and they will kick off to Jace Jefferson. He's a very dangerous return man, and he will bring it out to the left side across the 26, and that is where the Alaska Special Teams unit will bring him down. A good return by Jefferson, who comes over by way of Sioux Falls. This is his first game not as a Sparrow. He has 16 career interceptions, and he will look to add to that total tonight. As for the offense for the Roughnecks, some new faces there. A new face at quarterback, Shabazz Synergy. Synergy, the new quarterback replacing Mac Wavy Jr., who leaves to head to Cleveland. Synergy, and under trouble, moves up in the pocket, throws a pick on his first throw as an SFL member. He throws an interception down the other side of the field. It is number 30, Ramel Hernandez,
So Synergy finds the only member of the defensive backfield that is not a star, and Ramel Hernandez brings in the interception and returns it, and Alaska has the ball back early. So no time to introduce you to the defensive unit for Alaska or the offensive unit for the Ruffnecks. Instead, it is Alaska's offense who gets no rest. Cochran back to throw. Second throw of the game is connected, so 2 for 2 for Ron Cochran as he throws to the left side and finds P.J. Hernandez, who's able to bring in the catch for 6 yards. Hernandez able to pick up a few and make it 2nd and 4 for Ron Cochran and the Storm. I like the new white helmets for Alaska. A sharp improvement. I like it a lot. Up 3-0, 5:05 left in the first. They'll give it to Odom. Odom will dive forward for another 2. It was Bobby Law on the tackle. Law, the outside linebacker out of Bronze, is able to make another play and keep Ash Odom from breaking free there into the secondary. So far, Alaska giving them a heavy dosage of the run, and it's working well for the Storm. Up 3-0. They'll go to Odom again. Odom off the tackle, off the left side. He's into some room. Only one man can get him, and he won't. Alaska scores. The Alaska Storm put 6 more points on the board via the legs of Ash Odom. He couldn't get in on the goal line from the 1-yard line, but he says, you know what? I'm not going to do it from there. I'll do it from the 30. A quick bounce off there, and he's able to evade the tackle of June Fierro all the way into the end zone. And Alaska strikes again, points off of the turnover, and Ash Odom is able to push the lead to 9, and now Denali will come back on and try and make it 10. So Ash Odom adds his name to a slate of running backs from the league that have done well in their game today and have picked up a touchdown. For everything SFL, all stats, and everything related to this week's games and every week's games, visit the league's new website, simulationfl.net, and explore the league's new partnership with Press Stats. There's over 400 players in games in league history, and the league remembers your legendary status. Contact Liam Crowder on Discord to find out how you can get involved and start writing for the SFL website. Here's Jefferson on the return to the 26, and that is where he will go down, and Dallas will bring their offense back on. Shabazz Synergy, the gold quarterback, threw an interception on the last drive, and he will try and make better of it here. He has a gold receiver in Jonathan Concord, a silver in Juan Bosco, and a bronze in J.J. Howland, as well as 2 tight ends that are bronzes in Miles Morales and Lawrence Kirkland. Synergy to throw, hits the man there across the 35. It's a 9-yard pickup for J.J. Howland, who's able to corral that one. So Synergy, 2 throws, 1 pick, 1 9-yard pickup, and he will try and keep this drive going for the Ruffnecks. The Ruffnecks have no star running back, instead opting for more of a passing game, which is more Steven Mullenex's style. Synergy up the middle will not get there. He will get denied by the big defensive front for Alaska, and let's talk about that front. It's led by 69 Alex Dominguez, Big Sexy, who moves from defensive tackle all the way out to defensive end this year. He led the league in sacks last year and is 3 sacks away from being 4th in the SFL all time. And this is only his 2nd season. Synergy on his 2nd try will pick up the first down to the 37. So Dallas moves the chains. And the Ruffnecks are showing a little bit of QB sneak here early in tonight's contest. There's a look at Big Sexy himself. Again, 3 sacks away from being 4th all time, and last year was his rookie season. Can you believe that? Incredible stuff from him, and we expect nothing less this season. Synergy to throw across the middle of the field, nearly picked off again. He was looking for Juan Bosco, a new receiver. A lot of new faces here in Dallas, and Tony Willis was able to get in the way, the former Skyhawk. Willis coming over to Alaska was able to bat that one to the turf. He joins Evan Carroll, DJ Drew, and Melvin Kalu. 3 cornerbacks, a gold, silver, and bronze, join Tony Willis, who is the bronze strong safety, and Ramel Hernandez, who's the generic, who had the interception earlier. Synergy under center, 4 receivers split out. And he will, I think that was a sneak. He'll go down quickly after trying to move forward. A very short carry there. It was Marcy Charles who was able to bring him down. So from the 38, Synergy will face a 3rd and 9. Alaska up by 10, so Dallas trying to move the chains and get something going here. Throwing left side. Got him, man! It's Jonathan Concord. Drop in the bucket for Shabazz Synergy as he was able to throw it right over the outstretched arm, and Jonathan Concord drags the feet. What a throw this was, right over the extended arm of that player there. Can't get a clear number, 22 or 23 it looks like. Melvin Kalu, the bronze cornerback, and a nice throw from Synergy is able to move the chains for the Dallas Ruffnecks, who are in first down territory at the 48 and threatening to cross into Storm territory. Synergy, short drop, under pressure, moves in the pocket, throws a completion across the 34. It's a huge catch for Miles Morales, the former Santa Fe Gorilla, is able to pick that one up to the 34, and with 2 minutes left here in the first quarter, Dallas is in Storm territory. Synergy back under center. 2 receivers split out to the right side. Alaska 4 down linemen. Synergy up the middle will pick up 3. So it looks like Shabazz Synergy will be the man carrying the ball for Dallas as opposed to Rank McQueen, their halfback. And he follows that big offensive line forward for 3 yards to make it 2nd and 7. There's a look at Andrew Francis, the bronze outside linebacker for the Storm. And now Synergy will take the snap. Shabazz off the left side will pick up a 2-yard gain. The throw and catch was made to Lawrence Kirkland, who was able to move the ball to the 29, and now another 3rd down for Shabazz Synergy. Synergy under center will drop short again, and the throw to the left side nearly picked off. That could have been going the other way. It was Melvin Kalu who got the hand on it and was able to prevent the pass to Juan Bosco on the out route, and they will have to send Manuel on to try the field goal. It's going to be about a 45-yarder from here. Hold was a little shaky, but they got it down. The kick is away and no good. He wasn't able to convert. Manuel misses his first kick of the year. It looked to me like it might have been wide right. And the snap was the part that kind of confused me there. Hugaboom was not able to bring it down well enough, and the kick actually hits the upright, it looks like, possibly. So Manuel misses the first kick, and Alaska stays on top 10-0. The 3 points there would have cut the deficit to 7. Instead, Alaska will take over at their own 36. So good field position for the Storm and Ron Cochran, who leads his team back onto the field. Cochran, short drop, throws the swing to Ash Odom. Odom cuts back inside and is able to pick up 5 before being brought down there by Aston Quackenvoss, the free safety. SFL fans, are you interested in spreading the word about a truly revolutionary esports product? Help the SFL by joining our social media marketing team. Experienced social media candidates can turn this into a paid staff position. Contact Cameron Irvine, our commissioner, for more details on Discord at SFL Commit. Odom here will pick up the first down, and Jace Jefferson drives him out of bounds at the 47. Him and Quackenvoss combine for the tackle as Odom gets another pass out of the backfield, and Ash Odom so far doing the heavy lifting for the Alaska Storm. DeAndre Knoll is right, a missed field goal causing a turnover on downs. We've seen that before in today's game. That'll end the first quarter. Max Paul and the Alaska Storm are on top of the Dallas Ruffnecks here at Mullenex Oil Stadium, 10-0, looking for their first win against the Ruffnecks. Optimus Klein, the receiver from the tight end, had 3 touchdowns last season, 756 yards, moves to receiver, is 6'4". And they'll look to get him involved, but not before Ash Odom rushes for another 5 yards. And that man is doing a lot of heavy lifting for the Storm, and it's working out well here through one quarter. Second and 5. Snapback Cochran throwing deep down the field. Picked off. It's Troy LaShaw, who has another one and one this season, and he'll return it off to the right side. Loshaw down the right sideline to the 29, and Ron Cochran makes a mistake, and Troy LaShaw makes him pay for it with his 16th interception all time. A nice interception from Troy LaShaw there. Just jumps in front of the coverage. I'm not sure what Cochran was trying to do. It looks like he tried to force one down the field, and lucky for the Storm, Cochran is able to make the tackle there on Troy LaShaw, as Dallas is given great field position here on their first on Alaska's first turnover of the night, excuse me. Synergy to throw. Down the middle of the field, incomplete, but there's a penalty flag, and this one could be on the defense. He was looking for Miles Morales.
Pass interference, number 30.
The Ruffnecks are going to accept that one, obviously, and that'll give them great field position. It'll move them all the way down to the 15. So Dallas is in the SFL red zone and is going to try and strike.
First and 10.
Alaska will move up into bump coverage, it looks like, playing man on this talented receiving corps for the Ruffnecks. Synergy across the middle, incomplete, off of the back of a defender. It was off the back of Andrew Francis, the outside linebacker there, who is signifying that it was an incomplete pass. Following tonight's game, we will have the SFL postgame show. If you were in action today in any of the games or were coaching in any of the games, we'd love to have your input, and we'd love to interview you about the game following this one here in Dallas. Synergy, short drop under a lot of pressure, and he'll go down. A sack for the Alaska Storm. Was that the man himself? I believe it was. Jimmy Menjivar is in on it, but I think that might have been Big Sexy. Alex Dominguez trying to get involved. He does what he can. And now it'll be 3rd and 11. Synergy fakes the handoff. Good pressure, and down he goes again. A huge loss. That was Gerald Thomas coming over to make the tackle, number 78, and I think Sexy might have helped him with that one. So Alex Dominguez, the gold star here as we take a second look at it, getting involved from the end position. Yep, that'll be a half a sack for him, and I believe that'll put him 1.5, if not 2, away from being 4th all-time in the SFL in sacks. Heading onto the field now is Manuel, who missed earlier in the first quarter. Will try his second attempt of season 9 from the 26, and will try and make this one good. The hold is down, and that one is through from 43. Manuel redeems himself. 10-3, Dallas strikes. So the Ruffnecks able to capitalize on that Troy LaShaw interception, and they cut the deficit to 1 possession. Three to 10, 9:09 left here in the first half of play, and Merrill will return it out across the 25, jukes back to the right side, and will be brought down by DJ Watt on the special teams coverage. And so Alaska will bring the offensive unit back onto the field. Cochran just threw the interception to Troy LaShaw, and that's what you're going to get when you're going to test these two talented safeties, Troy LaShaw and Jace Jefferson. Both had incredible years last year, and Steven Mullenex able to wrangle them both into free agent deals here in Dallas and build a very strong secondary. Cochran, the throw outside will be complete for 3 yards there to Optimus Klein. Able to complete a strong secondary with Jace Jefferson and Troy LaShaw. They also add Zeno Sika and June Fierro, who both positions are able to be swapped out for user players. Are you an SFL player yet? If you are not, or new to the league, make sure to join our Discord community at simulationfl.net and be a star. Free agents can join a team as a free agent through week 8, so don't waste any time. Start your career today. Ash Odom off the right side will pick up the first down for Alaska. Both those cornerback spots, Steven Mullenex has them on the SFL website as available. So if you are interested, I would go ahead and contact Steven on our Discord channel, as well as be active at these games. Steven has mentioned that he's looking for players that are going to be active at games and call into post-game shows. So if you're looking for a team, the Dallas Ruffnecks and their silver cornerback spots might be a good spot for you. Ash Odom, a huge pickup there to move the chains to the 42, and now Cochran will look to throw. Ron Cochran down the left side, got a man! Optimus Klein, it's a race to the 20, and he'll go down at the 17. Troy LaShaw able to make the tackle, and Optimus Klein and the Alaska Storm move the chains again. A huge pickup and a huge throw from Ron Cochran. In his second season, the 6'4 receiver, moving from tight end to receiver, is able to beat Zeno Sika, the silver corner there, and get downfield, tucks it well, and turns up the sideline, and is able to make it all the way to the 17. Cochran handoff up the middle. Ash Odom is able to pick up 2 before being put down by Aston Quackenvoss. Quackenvoss, his second tackle. 7:32 left in the half and ticking. Ash Odom there getting a heavy dosage of carries for the Alaska Storm. Ron Cochran throwing when he needs to and making it work. Here goes Odom. Odom angles back inside. Odom, a free man to the touchdown! And Alaska combines to their lead as Ash Odom finds his way to the end zone. I honestly thought that one was going to end up bad, but it ended well, and Ash Odom finds his way into the end zone. Let me know if the game sound is better now. Denali is on to add the extra point, so it's 16-3. And and Denali will make it 17-3. Alaska on top. Apologies for that. Not sure what that was, but we reset the sound, and it should be fine now, it looks like. All right, Denali kicks it off, 17-3. Alaska on top with 7:19. Let's see how Shabazz Synergy and the Ruffnecks answer. Jace Jefferson will set them up at the 22. So far tonight has looked dangerous, but hasn't been able to convert any returns into big gains. And the offense will come out for the Ruffnecks. Shabazz Synergy led them to a field goal off a turnover on the last drive with 9:09 left, and a minute and 50 seconds later, he's back on the field trying to lead the Roughnecks to more points. Synergy, quick throw to Concord, broken up. A huge hit from Evan Carroll, the gold cornerback, is able to dislodge that pass that usually Concord is good for on the slant. Quick slant there, huge hit coming from Evan Carroll, who's playing man coverage. Safety comes down to Ramel Hernandez and adds his little bit of spice to it. But what a hit from Evan Carroll.
Let's go. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 22-yard line.
That's why they pay him the big bucks. Evan Carroll, all 6'2" of him, 47 tackles and 4 interceptions last season, earns him the gold contract for the Alaska Storm. Synergy on 2nd down. Looking across the middle, finds a completion to J.J. Howland, who's able to make it 3rd and inches. Couldn't quite find the first down marker, but Howland is able to corral that pass and get close to the sticks. And the pressure was coming on Synergy. He's lucky to get that one off when he did. Melvin Kalu will wrap up the tackle.
3rd and inches from your all-pro 32-yard line.
Synergy will scramble and pick up the first down right up the gut, following the center Dutch Ostergaard, and is able to move the chains for the Roughnecks, and the fans are loving it here with 6:37 left and ticking. Tomorrow night, Cleveland will head to Chicago with Eric Vincent on the call at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. And then, immediately following that at 8 Eastern, Chris will be on the call as Vancouver heads to Mexico City as we finish up Week 1 of SFL action here in Season 9. Quick dump off for Synergy down to Rank McQueen, the generic running back, who was able to shake and bake his way for 4 yards. And McQueen a little bit slow getting up. Synergy had to check it down as the pressure was coming. And with 6 minutes and ticking, a positive gain for the generic for the Roughnecks. 4 down linemen, Alaska showing blitz off the left side with Andrew Francis. Will they bring it or not? Who knows? Synergy, they'll back out of it. Synergy to throw. Left side, got a man. And that is good for a few to J.J. Howland, but not enough for the first down at the 43. And the Roughnecks will face a 3rd down. Shabazz Synergy so far tonight has showed us plenty of QB sneaks. Let's see if he'd be willing to try another one here at the 43. He'll go under center. 2 tight ends to the left side of the formation. Alaska has 4 on the line. Synergy will drop to throw on 3rd and 1. Throws the out route, incomplete! He was looking for Lawrence Kirkland. Kirkland couldn't corral the pass, and it fell to the turf, and Alaska will get a stop on 3rd and 1 at the 43 of Dallas, and now Dallas will most likely kick it to Robert Merrill, who will head back to return it. Will do just that. Bear Hojo out to punt it away to Robert Merrill, and Alaska, up by 14, will get the ball back. Merrill on the return will get to the 25, and that is where Ron Cochran will lead the offense out onto the field. Plenty of time, 5 minutes. Both teams have all 3 timeouts, so Cochran doesn't need to hurry here. I would not be amazed if we saw a heavy dosing of Ash Odom, as Alaska has done what they need to do to stay on top here in tonight's contest. So far, Oklahoma City and Houston sit atop the Western Conference. Alaska will look to join them up there at the top at 1-0. And up by 14, it's a good start for Max Paul's Storm. Ash Odom surges forward for 9 yards. A great carry on first down as Odom surpasses 115 yards all the way up to 120. And Odom is starting off strong tonight, taking the place of Justin Beakley Jr., who had such a great rookie season last year. Cochran handoff. Odom picks up the first down, and Heath McDaniel Sr. takes him to the turf. McDaniel Sr. in his second year, the father of Heath McDaniel Jr., who plays for the Carolina Skyhawks, who lost today 17-23 to the Atlanta Swarm. First and 10 from the 38. And they'll pitch it to Odom on the right side, and he gets swallowed in the backfield. Jace Jefferson comes up to completely punish Ash Odom for the running he's been had, and Alaska loses 2 yards on first down and will now has to face a 2nd and 12. Second and 12, Cochran hands it up to Odom up the middle, who's got a little bit of room and is able to pick up 6 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 6 at the 42 as time ticks on, and Cochran will face a 3rd down. Jace Jefferson there getting in the face of Odom, giving him a little bit of extra after the play. Cochran under center, 4 receivers split out. Odom alone in the backfield. Cochran to throw. Good protection. Throws and completes across the 50. A nice catch there is made by P.J. Hernandez, the 4th receiver for the Alaska Storm. So Cochran goes through his progression and finds Hernandez, who was working on Willie Dupree, the backup strong safety. And Troy LaShaw comes over to clean up that tackle. And at the 44, Alaska has moved into Roughneck territory. 4 receivers split out. Ash Odom off the field for the Alaska Storm. And with 3 minutes, Cochran will throw again. Cochran down the middle, finds the open man. And a good completion there to the 24 was made to Carter. So Corey Carter, the bronze receiver for the Storm, runs a nice little post route there and sits down in the hole right in front of Jace Jefferson. So a gold star beaten out by a bronze there, and he was right on the other side of Troy LaShaw. So Ron Cochran not afraid to throw right in that middle hole. And so far it's working, as Alaska has worked their way down with 2.5 minutes to play here in the half, all the way down to the Dallas 24, Pitch out to the backup off the right side. Plenty of room, and it's a touchdown! Stanley Nordellis with the touchdown for the Alaska Storm, and another rushing touchdown for Max Paul and Alaska here in Dallas. They lead big. Denali will come on the field to add the extra point, and he'll try and make it a 21-point lead, and he does just that. So it's 24-3, Alaska on top of Dallas here in Dallas. So far, the generic halfbacks in Week 1 are getting the job done. We saw Carolina have to utilize theirs. Queen City got a touchdown out of theirs in relief for Kyle Walsh, and now Alaska does the same thing in relief for Ash Odom. Here's Jefferson, who's able to get to the 25 before the Alaska Storm defensive special teams unit is able to wrap him up. And the defense for Alaska, who has been playing well, one turnover in their favor, was an interception made by Ramel Hernandez, is going to try and put some pressure on Synergy here. Dallas has all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning at their leisure as they try and get some points on the board. Synergy on first down will surge forward 4-3. Dallas does get the kick coming out of the half. You are correct, Andrew Francis, as well as Ivan Sanchez. There's the 2-minute warning, so with 2 minutes left to play, Dallas at home is down 3 possessions. They do get the ball after the half. Let's see if they can make something happen. So a nice completion there. Synergy able to find the tight end across the middle on the in route. And it looks like the Storm members kind of got tied up there between each other. Hernandez makes the tackle to keep Morales, only getting to the 35. And it'll be another set of downs here with 1.5 minutes to play. Synergy throwing across the middle, caught. That one was a dangerous throw as Andrew Francis was right there, but J.J. Howland is able to haul it in, and Dallas is moving to the 43. A lot of time ticking off the clock. You do have all 3 timeouts, but you'd like to get across midfield and then kind of work your way down. At least that's my opinion. Steven Mullenex seems to know what he's doing, making it to the championship game last year. Synergy play action, and he is able to complete the ball to Juan Bosco all the way down to the 39. And with 60 seconds left, now Dallas will get into hurry-up mode. Synergy will line up in the shotgun. 4 down linemen for Alaska. They'll bring an extra man. Throwing across the middle, another completion. It's Jonathan Concord to the 18. So Shabazz Synergy has responded well after throwing that opening interception and finds the big man, the reliable target, Jonathan Concord, across the middle. All 6'3" of him has 13 receiving touchdowns in his career, 1,800 yards, and he's good there to the 18, and Dallas is within striking distance. Synergy dumps it across the middle. A completion there to Lawrence Kirkland is good for 7 to the 12-yard line. Synergy will let time tick. He will run the play action. Synergy left side, got a man, got a first down. Miles Morales dives for the goal line. Won't get there. They'll say he's short. And if I had to guess, I would guess that Synergy is going to surge up the middle here for the QB sneak. Synergy, short drop. Throws, touchdown! Lawrence Kirkland in the middle, the tight end. And Synergy has his first touchdown pass in the SFL season, number 9. And now Manuel Manuel will come on to try and add the extra point and cut the lead down to 14. Snap corralled, kick is through, and it's a 14-point game. 2 touchdowns separate Alaska and Dallas gets the ball coming out of the halftime break. A great drive there by Shabazz Synergy and the Ruffnecks offense. Puts points on the board, and they will get the ball after the half, so their defense just has to hold up for another 20 seconds. Kick is away. Merrill will be the one to return it. Merrill will bring it out across the 25. shaking and baking, finding a little bit of room, but not enough as he gets to the 31. 6 seconds off the clock. And Alaska's offense will have 14 seconds, and I guess they would probably give it to Ash Odom. 2 touchdowns, and he would have had a third had he not subbed out for, Stanley Nordellis, who stole the touchdown from him. Instead, actually, Alaska will go with an empty set. Odom on the sidelines. Cochran will look to throw here. Good pocket, moves up in it, throws down the middle of the field, picked off. It's Chase Jefferson, who combines. Oh no, and this could get dangerous here. Jefferson and LaShaw now have 2 interceptions between the two of them, and Chase Jefferson sets Dallas up in an interesting position because they have a few timeouts left and they have plenty of space, and they could try and go for more points here. 2 timeouts, 7 seconds. You got 2-ish plays out of this. Maybe 3 if you can be quick, and now Ron Cochran may have just made a huge error. And Alaska could be giving up 3 points to the Ruffnecks. Synergy is going to look for the Hail Mary instead of trying to get into field goal range. And Alaska brings 4. Synergy under pressure, down they'll go, and they'll use a timeout. And at the 47, the Hail Mary unit will try and line up again. Synergy was under pressure from the get-go there. And Steven Mullenex will have to mull exactly how he's going to beat this defense for the Hail Mary. The momentum is definitely swinging Dallas's way. The question is, can they capitalize on it here, or will it have to wait till the second half? Synergy drops back, moves to his right, throwing off his back foot, high points the ball, down to the back of the end zone, incomplete, and that will be the last play of the half as Keyshawn Paul is able to bat it to the turf. Concord was in the area, but Dallas will go in down by 14 at the half. Alaska comes in to Mullenex Oil Stadium and leads 24-10 at the break. We will see you after the half for the second half of SFL action. So back here at Mullenex Oil Stadium in Dallas, Texas, the home team Ruffnecks are down by 14, and they will get the ball out of the half. Shabazz Synergy so far playing okay, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Ron Cochran, however, has 2 interceptions to his name. Synergy, the touchdown to Morales with 20 seconds left in the second half, was the last score to make it 10-24. How we got here, Denali had a field goal. Ash Odom has 2 touchdowns. Manuel missed 1 and made 1 field goal. And Stanley Nardelez runs in a touchdown for the Storm to make it 24-10. Alaska on top here. Jefferson will set the Roughnecks up at the 25, and that is where Synergy and the offense will re-enter the field. Synergy leads the team back onto the field. 2 receivers bottom of the screen. And Synergy will throw on first down. Looking into a tight window, triple coverage on Jonathan Concord. And Hernandez, Ramel, is able to make the play on the ball. He had the interception earlier from Synergy on Synergy's first throw in Season 9 and the first throw of his career.
Second and 10 from the All-Pro 25 yards.
So on second down, Synergy will lead the team back to the line. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen this time. And McQueen stands alone in the backfield. Synergy right up the gut, has some room, and is able to pick up 7 on second down before Andrew Francis comes over and tries to take his head off. So Shabazz Synergy just found a hole there. Look at that, right up the middle, and Andrew Francis comes over to clean that one up.
Third and 3 from the All-Pro 32 yards.
Francis has been working on Morales all night and was able to take a hit at the quarterback there. That's the only danger there with Synergy running up the middle is free hits at the quarterback. He'll change the play at the line. Synergy completes the pass across the 40 to number 84, Lawrence Kirkland, and he'll surpass 130 yards on the day and will reach to 138 with 10 minutes to play here in the third quarter. So Synergy, his first career touchdown and his first career interception both tonight. Cochran has yet to find the end zone as a rookie, but has found the arms of Jace Jefferson and Troy LaShaw. Here's McQueen out of the backfield. The generic running back getting in on the fun, finds the first down to the Alaska 44 and breaks into Storm territory. Rank McQueen gets the swing out of the backfield from Shabazz Synergy and is able to find some open space there. There's the pass. And Morales out in front of him will corral 2 with a great block. And it will take the secondary of Alaska and Tony Willis to bring him down. Sioux Falls was the team that ran no running back last year, and they found some success with it. Now Steven Mullenex trying to do the same. Jace Jefferson on the defensive side both times. A completion there for Shabazz Synergy in pressure, and Kirkland again finds the first down. So Shabazz Synergy comes out of the halftime break down by 14, but is slowly driving the team down and is pushing for some points. Dallas has been turning the tide, I would say, in terms of momentum at the end of the second half, getting that interception off Cochran. Synergy again finds more room and picks up another 7-yard gain, and Synergy has 3.1 yards per carry there. Odom averaging 6.4, so nearly double that. But the line for Dallas is able to find an opening there for Synergy. 4 down linemen for Alaska. 2 receivers split out. Synergy will try and get to the line, but won't get there. Alaska's front doing a good job. Andrew Francis able to bring him down. The outside linebacker puts a wrap on him, and it'll be 3rd and 1. From the 23. 8 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Synergy is driving the team down the field. 2 receivers split out. Synergy drops to throw. Under pressure, throws off his back foot, finds a man to the 16. It's Miles Morales, the tight end, and Morales is able to move the chains. Huge pickup for Synergy and the Dallas Ruffnecks as they move down to the 16. And Synergy will toss it again. That one is another completion to Kirkland for 6. So the 2 tight ends here in Dallas getting involved early, Miles Morales and Lawrence Kirkland. Kirkland used to be a member of the Louisville Wolfpack back when they were great. And Miles Morales, the last time I remember him being on the field was the Santa Fe Gorillas. So both players getting involved here in this new scheme of Dallas. And Mullenex is doing well. Synergy hit as he threw, and he was into quadruple coverage looking for Miles Morales, and that one is batted away. Jimmy Menjivar is in on that play. Alex Dominguez was part of the pressure there. We looked at the half. He has 1 sack. I see Alex Bond in the chat wants to get involved. Alex, we would love for you to get involved. I've explained already in this broadcast 2 to 3 ways we can get you involved. There's websites work, there's the marketing team, as well as being a player, and we will outline some more for you here as we move on. That throw is complete to J.J. Howland, who will find his way down to the 2 and set up 1st and goal for the Dallas Ruffnecks. So Shabazz Synergy completes another one, and this Alaska defense is trying to keep the Roughnecks out here. Synergy under center. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Alaska 4 down linemen. And Synergy surges forward for a touchdown. Shabazz Synergy has thrown one and ran for one. The rookie sensation has 2 touchdowns. And Dallas is back within striking distance, fighting their way back into this game at home. Manuel will be on to try and add the extra point, and he will do so. It'll be 24-17. Dallas scores with 20 seconds left in the second half and then comes out in the second half and opens with a Shabazz Synergy rushing touchdown. And Dallas is within striking distance, a mere 7 points away from tying this game. However, they will have to kick it back to the Alaska Storm. Robert Merrill is back. Manuel has it teed up and will boot it, and we are back underway here with 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Merrill switches arms, crosses the 30, a good return for Robert Merrill, and Alaska's offense will set up at the 32. As per the discussion in the chat, I think he is more Cam Newton, or I think we said David Garrard earlier. He's more of that than a Michael Vick. Vick was kind of an outside runner. Garrard and Newton are kind of, they can run up the gut if they'd like. Ash Odom, though, is another runner who can do outside or inside, and he'll gain 6.4 yards there. 5 yards there, 6.4 on the day so far, and will move the ball to the Alaska 37. Cochran under center, 2 backs in the backfield. It'll be Jeff Cameo who will flank Ash Odom. Cochran down the field, left side, got a man on the corner route right in front of Troy LaShaw. It's a huge catch for Optimus Klein, the tight end turned receiver. Ron Cochran, the silver rookie, has no fear. After 2 interceptions, he throws it here into double coverage right over the head of Zenosika and right next to Troy LaShaw and makes the completion at the 43. Cochran under center, 3 receivers bottom of the screen, 1 to the top. Ash Odom in the backfield. 3-2 look from the Roughnecks. They'll pitch it out to Odom. Odom will get bottled up, only a yard on the carry. Jace Jefferson was the one who wrangled him to the turf.
Let's go.
Cochran 136 yards and the 2 picks. No touchdowns for him so far. He is still looking for his first professional SFL touchdown. Synergy has found 2 of them, one on the ground, one through the air, and now Cochran is trying to match it. Handoff, Ash Odom up the gut. Odom will get 3 or 4 before being cut down by the Roughnecks defense. And it'll be 3rd and 6 at the Dallas 39. Bobby Law, the longtime linebacker, is in on the tackle. Law and Heath McDaniel Sr. there, as you see in the linebacking core, and they're going to try and keep Odom here on 3rd down from getting the sticks, but he will. He'll dive forward via the tackle of Al Biggins and is able to move the chains at the 32, and Alaska gets a fresh set of downs. A good job by the center there of getting to the 2nd level. That's James Julamiste. Julamiste gets to the 2nd level, puts a block on the linebacker, and Ash Odom is able to dive forward for the 1st down. They'll hand it to him again off the left side. Less blocking there as Heath McDaniel Sr. and Bobby Law, the 2 bronze linebackers for the Roughnecks, combine on the tackle. That'll be 2nd and 7 from the Dallas 30. Within striking distance, a 46-yard field goal. If they don't gain another yard, it's 2nd down. They'll give it to Odom up the gut. Odom will get stopped. He'll pick up a yard, but Bobby Law was right there waiting for him. So Dallas in the locker room is working on stopping Ash Odom. And so far, it's worked decently. Handoff, Odom flattened. Heath McDaniel Sr. read that one the whole way and is able to keep Ash Odom from picking up the 1st down. And at the 30, Alaska is stopped, and they're going to have to call upon the star kicker, Kodiak Denali, to try and boot this one through. Kick is away from Denali, and it is good from 46 yards. So Alaska adds another 3 to their lead, and it's now a 10-point difference. The Storm ahead. So the game started off with a Denali field goal, and he adds another one there, and now he will boot it to Jace Jefferson, the ever-dangerous return man. Jace Jefferson brings it off the line and across the 25 to the 27. So decent starting field position for the Dallas Roughnecks. And Jefferson is trying to inspire some momentum. Synergy under center. 3 receivers bottom of the screen. Synergy to throw. He'll dump it off out of the backfield with a blocker. And McQueen will get brought down before he can get to the line to gain. It'll be an 8-yard pickup on the swing, and I thought that one could have gone. Rank McQueen out of the backfield has been effective for an effective receiver, for Shabazz Synergy, and he was able to get close to the 1st down there, and now Dallas will just be 2 yards shy of converting. Synergy, 5-step drop, pressure coming, throws left side, got the completion. A good pickup there to Lawrence Kirkland, who's slowly becoming Synergy's favorite. Him and Miles Morales are right there, and the combination moves the chains to the 49. Kirkland here just runs a stick-em-out route, and Morales was right there in the middle. And Kirkland is able to grab the ball right next to Jimmy Menjivar. Synergy under center again. 4 down linemen for the Storm. And they show blitz off the right side. They will back out of it. Synergy to throw. Has time. Dumps it off to McQueen. McQueen tries a spin move at the line, but won't get there. A nice wrap-up tackle there by Melvin Kalu, the bronze cornerback, who has been getting a lot of play tonight. The gold cornerback, Evan Carroll, has got a little bit of action, but DJ Drew has remained somewhat silent, and that, as a cornerback, is a good thing. If they're staying away from you, that means you're covering the guy correctly. Synergy under center, 2nd and long. He will fake the handoff and toss it deep down the field, and it's nearly picked off, incomplete. He was looking for Juan Bosco down the field, and Bosco unable to bring it in. So it'll be 3rd down. Let's talk about the receivers that left Dallas. Prince Escobar, gone. Davius Reed left as well. Jonathan Concord stayed put and actually has been doing a great job for Dallas, but they had to bring in a very new receiving corps. Synergy will need them on this 3rd down. Throws to the sideline, incomplete. Miles Morales, the tight end, was unable to get the feet down, and Dallas will have to punt from their own 49. So down by 10, the punting unit comes on. It's Bear Hojo on to boot this one away. Robert Merrill will be the return man for the Alaska Storm. Snap is back, kick is away. Angled towards the left. Merrill will get a return on this one. 1 spin move, 2 spin moves. Robert Merrill looked dangerous there as he made it past the first wave. Luckily enough for the Ruffnecks, number 69 was able to come over and make the tackle. And that's Austin Kincaid or Kincaid was able to make the tackle for the Ruffnecks. Otherwise, Robert Merrill would have had some yardage in front of him and some open field. Cochran in the shotgun, Alaska on top as he led them down the field for a field goal last time. Cochran to throw, looking for it all, down the field, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Optimus Klein, and Loshaw was right there. He put the hit on Optimus Klein. A big man to be putting the hit on. I believe he's 6'4", that is correct. 6'4", Optimus Klein. Zeno Sika was also back in coverage, but as you see there, it's Troy Loshaw who lays the hit to him. Zeno Sika kind of gets startled there. So the safety help over the top prevents a huge pass, and Alaska will face 2nd down. 35 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Cochran under center. Ash Odom in the backfield. 3-2 look from Dallas. They'll give it to Odom off the left side. Odom with a blocker will fight his way. Troy Loshaw will stand him up at the 28. It'll be a 5-yard pickup, and Ash Odom surpasses 150 yards on tonight's game. 2 rushing touchdowns for Ash Odom. A reminder, make sure if you haven't, you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 600 subscribers. As an SFL subscriber, you're notified when we go live, and you'll have access to over 1,000 videos seamlessly through the YouTube app. We'll be live Sundays at 3 p.m. Central and Sunday through Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. Make sure you don't miss a single game. Subscribe to the SFL on YouTube. Alaska cannot convert on 3rd down, and they will have to kick it away. Jace Jefferson will head back, and if there was ever a time for Jace Jefferson to return a big one, this would be it, as Dallas is down by 10 and 1 play away from heading into the final quarter here at Mullenex Oil Stadium. Kick is away. It'll be fielded at the 35. A quick spin move, and Jace Jefferson gains 6 on the return to the 41. Dallas and Shabazz Synergy have good field position here to start the 4th quarter. 1 quarter left here in Dallas. Alaska still on top, 27-17. They started out hot, took the lead right out from under Dallas, and have yet to give it back. Synergy back on the field. 3 receivers bottom of the screen, 1 back in the backfield. Synergy, short drop, throws the out route, caught. Turning upfield was Juan Bosco. He had the first down, but steps out of bounds after a 6-yard pickup, and it'll be 2nd and 4. Synergy in the shotgun. 3 receivers split out. 2 to the bottom, 1 at the top. He'll fake the handoff. Under pressure, down he goes! It's the big man himself, Big Sexy. Alex Dominguez adds his 2nd sack of the day, and he is now just 1 away from being 4th all-time in sacks in the SFL. A nice little swing move there, working on Benny Breckenridge, and he's able to drop Synergy for a loss. 3rd and long here for the Ruffnecks. They're going to need to convert. Synergy under center. 5-step drop. Moves up in the pocket. Throws the corner route. Batted incomplete. The Alaska Storm defense holds. It's Francis. Is that right? Yeah, Andrew Francis was way back in coverage. Francis able to bat the ball away. And now the Alaska Storm are going to get the ball back here with 10 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. And a stellar running attack as Ash Odom has surpassed 150 yards. 2 touchdowns for Odom, both in the first half of play. A rather silent 3rd quarter as Alaska gets just 3 points in that quarter. And Merrill will return it to the 27, and that is where Alaska will set up shop. Reminder, after tonight's game, stay with us as we will have the SFL postgame show, the first SFL postgame show of Season 9. We want to hear from everyone who was in action today. So if you're a player or coach from St. Louis, Queen City, Houston, Sioux Falls, Atlanta, Carolina, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Tallahassee, Baltimore, Dallas, or Alaska, make sure you stay tuned and call in for your postgame interviews. Cochran in the pocket has plenty of time and dumps it off for an 8-yard pickup there. A nice throw and catch there to Corey Carter.
Second and 1.
Cochran hands off. Odom on the right side, bumps it outside, and will pick up the first down to the 39. A nice bounce as Ash Odom is able to bounce it all the way to the right sideline and pick up the first down and convert. So Alaska, a fresh set of downs here at the 39 with 9 minutes to play. They've eked a whole minute off the clock so far. Cochran to throw, under pressure, batted down at the line. Number 97, Rage Falconer, the defensive end, jumps at the line of scrimmage and bats that one right back into Cochran's face. Thank goodness he's wearing that visor.
Second and 10.
2nd and 10 from the 39. Under 9 minutes to play, but the clock has stopped due to that incompletion. And Cochran will be under center. 3-2 look for the Ruffnecks. Handoff. Odom up the gut. Will get wrapped up and brought down quickly. Willie Dupree was in on the tackle, as well as Aston Quackenvoss, 2 generic safeties getting involved here, and it'll be 3rd and 8. Four receivers split out, 3rd and 8. I would guess that Alaska would just run the ball here and try and take more time off that clock. Instead, Cochran will throw deep left side. Picked picked off. Going the other way, it's Osika, number 19. And the silver cornerback is able to come up with the turnover as Ron Cochran throws his third interception of the game. And now it's Osika getting in on the fun. He was looking for Klein straight down the field, and Osika read his eyes the whole way. Are you an SFL player yet? If you're new to the league or haven't joined yet, make sure you join our Discord community at simulationfl.net and be a star. Free agents can join a team as a free agent through Week 8, so don't waste any time. Start your career today. That spot right there, Osika, the silver cornerback, is up for grabs. Steven Mullenex is looking to replace Osika in Dallas. That could be you. Shabazz Synergy down the middle of the field finds J.J. Howland, and Dallas moves to the 48 here with a little over 8 minutes left in the game. Three receivers split out. Synergy to throw. Left side complete to Jonathan Concord for 9. A nice route as Concord gets the feet down at the 43. And with 7:59 left to play here in the game, Dallas is driving. James Skaggs, you are correct. Dallas is hanging around. Anything can happen, as we've seen multiple times here in today's game. Baltimore coming back and leading to Tallahassee on a late field goal. Carolina and Atlanta was also close. Houston and Sioux Falls was close. Even San Antonio and Oklahoma City was pretty close. The only game that really was out of reach was St. Louis and Queen City earlier today. Dallas converts the first down while I was discussing the earlier action. Synergy in the shotgun will throw. Dumps it off there to McQueen. McQueen will pick up 3 out of the backfield. Rank McQueen, the generic halfback for the Dallas Ruffnecks. Melvin Kalu with his 7th tackle of the game. Kalu all over the place so far. Three receivers, bottom of the screen, 1 to the top. Synergy to throw down the middle, nearly picked off. Synergy almost threw an interception. It was Ramel Hernandez who had the interception in the first quarter of play on actually Synergy's first throw of his career, and he almost had another one there.
3rd and 6.
6:41 left here in the game. 38 seconds and an offsides. Free play for Synergy. Finds J.J. Howland. But they might take the penalty here. Let's see what Steven Mullenex and the Ruffnecks want to do. Decision time.
Mutual zone infraction. Number 69, defense. On ball. Repeat, 4th down.
So Alex Dominguez jumps off sides. 2 sacks tonight for him. 1 away from being 4th all-time in the SFL. We already saw Pete Bruschi earlier today become the leading rusher in SFL history. I wonder if there will be another record broken tonight. Synergy finds Concord to the 26th for a first down. They're going to have to find their way into the end zone here. Synergy has done that twice, once through the air, once via the ground. So far tonight, it looked right off the bat that Cochran was going to have the better rookie premiere, but Synergy has bounced back, and Shabazz Synergy, the gold quarterback for the Dallas Ruffnecks, is having the better night of the two touchdowns and 1 interception. Throwing there again, finds J.J. Howland, and that's good for 5 before DJ Drew, the cornerback, Silver, is able to bring him down. Make sure if you haven't, go ahead and slap that like button. It helps the league more than you know. I believe right now we are sitting at 15 likes with 44 viewers. I might be wrong, but that's not enough. Handoff, or excuse me, Synergy runs up the middle. He is 1 yard shy of that yellow marker. As number 58, Jimmy Menjivar, was able to bring him down at the 17. So 1 yard lies between a new set of downs and fourth down. 4:47 left to play and ticking. Synergy, short drop, quick throw, incomplete. It was into traffic. He was looking for Jonathan Concord on the slant, and Concord can't get his hands around it. And so now it looks like Manuel will come on. He's already missed one tonight, but has converted another field goal earlier in the second quarter. 32 likes, excuse me, sorry. My broadcast must not be refreshed. 32 likes, that's still not the 44 viewers we have, so still some room to improve. Synergy still on the field trying to work the hard count. It worked on Alex Dominguez once, and it works there on offsides, and Synergy has a free play. He'll toss it to the left side, and it's caught! Touchdown! Or did he get in? Oh, it's close. It's real close. Lawrence Kirkland, he looked into me. I called him in. They're going to call offsides. It's a touchdown to Lawrence Kirkland. Morales had the earlier one there at the end of the second quarter with 20 seconds left. Synergy on 4th and 1 finds Morales, and he pushes his way, Kirkland. I did it again. These two tight ends are incredible, and Kirkland finds his way in for the Dallas touchdown, and Dallas is within 4 points of tying this one up. Kick away. Manuel adds the extra point, and now it's a 3-point game. So Alaska will get the ball back. And Dallas has fought their way back into this one. Ron Cochran, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, will have to try and lead Alaska back. Ash Odom over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He will try and get things done. Merrill will set them up at the 29, and with 4.5 minutes left, Max Paul sends the offensive unit back onto the turf. Cochran under center, 4 receivers split out. A 3-point lead, they'll hand it to Odom. Odom has a little bit of room. Odom into the open field. 1 man to beat, it's a foot race. Down all the way to the 24 before he is caught from behind. An incredible tackle by Henry Juckabay, a generic cornerback for the Roughnecks. I thought Odom was gone, and Huckabee is able to bring him down. Look at this determination. Jefferson was also there to help, but Huckabee was the one to bring him down, and now Dallas is going to have to try and hold Alaska to a field goal here at their own 24. Cochran under center, same formation, just flipped. 3-2 look from Dallas. Cochran taking his sweet, sweet time. They'll pitch it out to Odom. Odom will get dropped in the backfield for a loss. Number 99, Al Biggins, making his second play of the night. And Willie Dupree was there to help out, and Heath McDaniel Sr. is trying to fire up this defense. 2nd and 11 from the Dallas 25. 3.5 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter. Cochran under center. Second and long, they'll hand it to Odom. Odom up the gut, will get shut down again. Bobby Law in on the tackle. Want to do what I do? If you're interested in joining the SFL as a play-by-play or color commentator, the league has open tryouts all season long for our Rabbit broadcast. Contact me, myself, Andy Hamilton on Discord, at Andy Hamilton, for more information about how you can get involved on the commentary team here in the SFL. Cochran under center on 3rd and 8. 3 receivers top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. Ash Odom in the backfield. They will try and work out all this time. Handoff, Odom, right side. Odom finds a seam and is brought down. Rage Falconer is able to bring him down a yard shy of the first down marker, and Max Paul probably just felt his heart and or stomach drop as Kodiak Denali will head on to try and make it a 6-point game, but with the way Shabazz Synergy has been playing, 2 touchdowns in the second half, and 1 more in the first half. You wanted more points here. Alaska will milk the clock down. They can milk it all the way to the 2-minute warning if they want. Instead, they'll kick it beforehand, and it is up and through from 32 yards. Denali hits his second field goal of the half, his 3rd in the game, including 3 extra points. So Denali is having one heck of a game for Alaska. And Alaska is on top by 6, 30-24. Kick is away. Jace Jefferson, the strong return man, will bring it out across the 10, across the 20 to the 25, and he'll get wrapped up there. If there was ever a time to make an impact as a rookie, we saw Cross earlier, the linebacker for Queen City in the first game, have an incredible rookie outing. I think here Shabazz Synergy might have the chance to beat it if with under 2 minutes he can work into a touchdown drive and give Dallas the win here tonight. That might be one of the most incredible things I've ever seen from a rookie in their first SFL game. Synergy drops to throw. Quick toss, and that one was nearly picked off. And Alaska would have liked to have that one back. Number 52, Andrew Francis, had it in his hands, and those stone hands don't work. It dropped to the turf. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Dallas has all 3 timeouts in 1:51. The clock is on your side here. You just have to find your way down the field. Synergy under pressure, tosses, nearly picked again. Almost threw a second interception, and that one was in and out of the hands of Tony Willis, the strong safety. So now it's 3rd and 10. I think you're in 4-down territory, being a 6-point underdog here with 1:47, but maybe you trust your offense, or your defense quite a bit, excuse me. They would have to trust the offense here. Synergy. 3rd down throw, and that one's nearly picked off. 3 near interceptions. That one was Jimmy Menjivar who almost had it. And the Alaska Storm defense has put hands on the ball on every down. So here we go, 4th down. Here's your ball game, folks. Synergy under center will take the snap. 5-step drop, throws off his back foot, down the field, incomplete. He was looking for Jonathan Concord. Concord can't put his hands around it, and it falls to the turf, and Alaska will take over at the Dallas 26. So Synergy, the pressure was coming up the middle there from Gerald Thomas, and he had to throw it. It's a wobbler. He was kind of hit as he threw. He was looking for Concord, who usually is a pretty sure target, but in double coverage, it actually bounced off the helmet there of number 30, Ramel Hernandez, who had the interception earlier, and Hernandez His helmet bats the ball to the turf. So 1:38, so 98 seconds left here. Dallas does have all 3 timeouts, but they're going to have to stop Ash Odom. Handoff, Odom up the gut will pick up 5. Reminder, after tonight's game, we will have the postgame show, the first SFL postgame show of Season 9. Join us for that. If you played in a game today, we would love to have your thoughts, as well as if you coached in a game today. Another reminder, tomorrow night, Cleveland will head to Chicago with Eric Vincent on the call, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, as Mac Wavy Jr. and the Cleveland Stallions take on the Chicago Wildcats. Ash Odom picks up the first down there for Alaska, and they have secured the victory here with a first down at the Dallas 9. Short of Dallas coming up with a fumble recovery and some amazing plays here within the next minute and 9 seconds. Also tomorrow, immediately following that 5 Central, 6 Eastern game, Vancouver heads to Mexico City as the new Vancouver Legion take on Ramos Lynn and the Mexico City Aztecs, with Curtis Chris, our new play-by-play commentator, on the call at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, right here live on YouTube. Ron Cochran will take the knee at the Dallas 11, and with 1:28, it'll be second and goal. Dallas is out of timeouts, and so Alaska will put the cap on this one. Should be 2 kneel downs, and we will head to the post-game show. So this game caps an amazing night of SFL action. If you don't want to hear the scores of the game, close your ears for the next 30 seconds. St. Louis lost this morning, earlier today, to Queen City, 7-52. Queen City winning at home. Houston went on the road and beat Sioux Falls 33-27. Atlanta heads to Carolina and beats the Skyhawks 23-17. San Antonio heads to Oklahoma City and the Renegades win 28-17. And then Tallahassee goes to Baltimore and wins on a last-second field goal 40-37. You can read about all of these games and more on simulationfl.net. Cochran will wait out the clock and take another knee. You're correct, Matt Wilson. You are also the owner of... You are the co-owner, of the Mexico City Aztecs. Sorry. Always just named the one. Didn't mean to do that. So Matt Wilson and Ramos Lynn will welcome the brand new Vancouver Legion to town tomorrow night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Curtis Chris on the call. 4th and goal, they'll send Denali out, add more points, pour salt in the wound. Alaska comes to Dallas and gets the first win between these two teams. Dallas has the other 2 from last season, and Alaska will get the one tonight, barring emergency here. High snap, kick is away. Denali puts it through 33-24. Denali has the last 6 points of the game. Cap Rooney was the one who corralled that hole. (24-33), up by 9. This one pretty much has a cap on it, but there's always a chance for more points. Kick is away. Jefferson, the dangerous return man, will be the one to return it. So let's see what he can make of the opening return. He pushes it off to the left side. Will not go down easily, but does end up falling to the turf. And it'll be 1 second left. I would not be surprised if Dallas ended this one well. Alaska moves to 1-0, and in the Western Conference is up there with Houston and Oklahoma City. Dallas falls to 0-1 and will join Sioux Falls and San Antonio at the bottom of the Western table. Mexico City and Vancouver will play tomorrow. Synergy in the shotgun will throw on the last play of the game. Crosses the middle, incomplete. And Alaska Storm win 33-24 in Dallas. The first win for Max Paul against the Dallas Ruffnecks. Stay tuned for the SFL postgame show.
Welcome everyone to the SFL postgame show. Along with Andy Hamilton, I'm Cameron Irvine. We're tag teaming it tonight, having to do things a little bit differently. With our Google Hangouts down, we'll be doing this through Discord. If you want to be on the postgame show and added to the call, please send us a private message now. By the way, you need to be friends with me on Discord to join the call. So to the one person, Yvonne Sanchez, that I've sent a message to, make sure that you accept that friend request so that we can get you in. And I believe we've got him. We're going to bring him on. And we're also going to, looks like DR Sim wants to be added in. And James Richards wants to be added in. So just give us an opportunity for us to get all of those initial people in here. And we'll be off and running. Andy just called the game. Andy, what'd you think of Alaska narrowly holding on to beat Dallas?
Well, an incredible.
Hold on just a second, Andy. Hey, Damon, can you mute your broadcast, please? Holding on to beat Dallas. Damon, can you mute your broadcast, please? Hold on just a second, Andy. Hey, Damon. All right. We're going to mute him. Go ahead, Andy.
All right. So, yeah, an incredible game. Dallas was in it to the end. Shabazz Synergy, I mean, he had one heck of a game for his rookie debut. Ron Cochran kind of did not play as well as, I'm sure Mighty would have liked. But Alaska does a very good job. Ash Odom was able to play a great game. 2 touchdowns for him, had one of them taken away. And, a great game overall. Very close.
All right, well, so we've got Ivan Sanchez on the call with us. He is a linebacker what is he in Vancouver, Andy?
Sanchez is our halfback.
Yeah, there you go. Running back, Ivan Sanchez. It's been a while. Y'all haven't played yet. Ivan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, and I had a great time listening to and watching the earlier game today and this game too. And it's actually this is my first full season in the SFL, I guess you could say. So I've been thoroughly enjoying my time here. And I actually wanted to discuss the first game that happened today, the St. Louis Gladiators versus the Queen City Corsairs. And I mean, let's face it, the Queen City Corsairs are the reigning champs, and they have a dynasty going on, a New England-esque dynasty. And a lot of people really thought that the Queen City was going to win this game. But I feel as though it was much worse than it should have been. And I really don't want to be too negative here, but I feel as though really St. Louis kind of did it to themselves. Because when you look at the stat line and you see that the only touchdown that St. Louis scored was a pass to their tight end. Their tight end is the only pass catcher on their offense. That is a star player. He's a silver tight end, Swain. None of their wide receivers are star players. They're all generics. And I feel like that really hurt them. As you saw a lot of times, Alexander was scrambling around in the pocket and didn't have anywhere to throw. The receivers weren't getting any separation. And Queen City had a very good matchup there. Queen City's corners are both generics on the outside, and they were facing up against generic receivers too. So Queen City had the advantage against the wide receivers. Also when your only receiver is your tight end and he's the only person catching touchdown passes, you don't have anybody else to help out your running attack. And even though Evan Moore is a really good running back, when you have no passing game, it's going to be really hard to move the ball. And I think that's what we ended up seeing there. And also, I understand the thought of the the defensive end, the goal defensive end, John Barson. But I believe, looking at the stats, I saved a few pictures of the top stats. The leader of sacks today was C. Longstreet on St. Louis. He's not even a star player. He's a generic, and he led St. Louis in sacks. So the goal defensive end for St. Louis, in effect, was a non-presence. And where does that leave you when you also have a star fullback and no pass catchers? Your offense is going to be pretty difficult to get anything going. And even though you have a strong defense, if you're up against a potent offense like Queen City and you can't get stops on defense, and then your running game gets shut down, there's nowhere for you to turn. And even if you do make changes to the playbook and do change your offense around, there's only so much you can do, again, with no star pass catchers. And I feel like that's a flaw. I know they were trying out a new system at the beginning of the year. I know they were trying something new with personnel. But I feel as though last year, if they had just kept going with kind of what they had going last year, they would be doing better in this game than they did. And I feel as though down the line, their personnel changes are really going to bite them.
Okay. What a rookie call. That is impressive in many ways, Yvonne. I appreciate all of the analysis. We're lucky to have the man who can now discuss all of that here with us. James Richards, welcome to the SFL, buddy.
Yeah, what a game. I mean, let me just start by saying that game was a defensive nightmare for us. I think if you go back and watch the championship game from last year, they did the same thing to Dallas. I don't know if you remember that. They ran all over Dallas. The only difference is we were in man-to-man all game, and that's a no-no, especially when the zones that we did call, the corners were sitting in the flats, which allowed a lot of deep passes. So the passes you saw deep were just a lack of my experience. But the run game, I mean, the running back's good. As far as our offense goes, we did have a couple non-stars catch the ball. We did get a pass out to our fullback. We did get a couple passes out to our tailback. But the reality is, if your defense is playing so horribly, and it's not the defense, it was the way I picked the plays. And we've already addressed the issue. We're already ready. We've already made the changes. We're getting ready for next week. And I agree, there are so many changes you can make in a week. But ours were pretty glaring, and that's the benefit of getting trashed by Queen City so badly, was that they highlighted what we did really well, which we had some good plays. I don't know if you saw, but they also highlighted what we did pretty poorly, and that's what we needed to see. We didn't need a close game that we lost or won, because that wasn't going to help us. It would only help us in the standings. We needed this beating to flush out all the flaws in the system and work it out. And I'm grateful for the game. I'm grateful for the experience. And I think the playbook had a lot of holes that they highlighted. And I think there's enough plays and enough adjustments that we can make to come out and have a stronger second week.
Definitely.
But,
go ahead, Andy.
I was just going to say, I think, on defense of not necessarily defense of James or the system that he's built, more of a defense of it's week one. I think we've all built up so much time into heading into the first week, and it seems so do or die. When in reality, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, it's kind of a crapshoot week one is. You don't have much scouting to do. You don't have much film to look at. You kind of just have to look at the build and go off of that. And so you're kind of rolling dice at a box, and sometimes you'll come out a winner, sometimes you'll come out a loser. And today, it just wasn't St. Louis's day, but I don't think that's any description of how they'll do as a team over the course of a season. I know James and Liam and Dwayne and Colin have put in an incredible amount of work into this team, and I think they're definitely going to have their day in the sun. It just wasn't today. So it's easy to jump down their throat and say, oh, nothing worked, the system's flawed. But I think we have to flesh out a 14-game season and really see whether, it's a product of the
12.
system or whether 12, sorry, 14 left. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they'll make the playoffs, Cam. Come on. You're going to cut St. Louis short before we even make it to game 2.
Boy.
I think to piggyback on that, Andy, this week literally it boils down to just the defensive play calling. Like if you go back through, and I watched all the games today, there's a lot of zone being played. And I'm telling you, in our game plan, there was a lot of man being played. And it showed, they had guys cutting across the middle because our linebackers weren't in a position to cover it. And so it's not fair to judge our offense because our defense played so poorly and we didn't even get to do what the build was meant to do. We didn't. And then not to mention we had tosses in there, which are terrible. And, anytime you start a drive, 1st and 10 and then it's 2nd and 15 or 16, it's not a good start. And we had several of those drives where we started out the drive with a toss play. And, like I said, it was just rookie mistakes on my behalf. The staff, did their job. The simulations we did without the hex editor showed that these plays worked. Clearly not having the hex editor and running sims is not the same as having the hex editor. So we've already made the adjustments. I've been running sims since the game's been over, and I think we're going to have a better game plan going into week 2. But like I said, this is not indicative of how we're going to play the rest of the year.
It's amazing.
I mean, yeah, you make good points. I definitely see that. I may have been quick to jump the gun, and yeah, I do know what
points.
I know what you mean about being. It doesn't matter versus winning close or winning or losing close versus getting beaten down, because in the end, yeah, you tried something that you weren't sure if it was going to work, and you tried it against a tough opponent. So that was, I guess, probably the most optimal conditions for you to try stuff. And now that I guess you figure out what the problems are, it most likely will go a lot smoother for you in future weeks, since those issues have mostly been resolved.
And
I don't know. Oh, sorry. Last point, Cam. Cam, you made a point in your broadcast. You said, man, it looks like the linebackers are over-aggressing. They're overreaching, overextending. And that's literally because they were in man-to-man the whole time. So they're instead of like with other teams, you see their first step back because they're in a zone, and then they react to the run. Ours were taking steps in, and they were getting caught in the wash-up on the offensive line. So, these are easy fixes, but stuff that I wasn't aware of come week 1. I didn't think that was going to happen, but now I know, and it was a big old beating. So thank you.
Andy, you want to get Damon involved? They had a big win in Sioux Falls today.
Yeah, let's move on to that one. I mean, geez, Damon, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw Sioux Falls coming into the West, and I shook in my boots a little bit. I was a little scared, and I figured, well, poor Damon is going to be the first one into the fire. And look at you guys. You came out firing on your own and beat Sioux Falls in Sioux Falls 33-27. You said in the chat that someone was doubting you and assumed that Sioux Falls would climb back into the game. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like as they were climbing back towards the tie or the win, and what it was like to have such a good game. And then if you could touch on Cantrell a little bit and what a great day he had.
Right, exactly. I'm going to go back 2 seasons ago, starting with season 7. Houston started off 0-1. We lost 52-41 to Santa Fe. Houston was up in that game and then lost the lead in the second half. Also, season 8, Houston lost 42-27 to Mexico City, which is the same team. Houston was up big in that game, but Cody Cantrell threw 5 interceptions in the second half. This game here was outstanding due to no turnovers, and also, to be honest with you, when Sioux Falls started to come back, I was like, uh-oh, not again, So, and after our game was over, we switched over to Tallahassee's game, and Frank stated, well, I thought Sioux Falls was going to come back and steal that game from Houston, and I was like, it seems that's pretty much what Houston is known for, is for giving up big leads and allowing other teams to come back and steal games late in the second half.
Yeah, from what I understood, that's what they've been doing. And, I'm going to be honest, when I saw it, I was kind of like, oh, don't worry. When I was seeing the scores come across, I was like, oh, don't worry. Sioux Falls will climb back into that one. But you guys held them off very well. Congratulations, Damon. 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great to get this win. Sioux Falls played an outstanding game. Hats off to them as well, because I knew that Jason was going to come in. He was going to bring it. But it feels good to finally start off 1-0 instead of 0-1 as we did the previous 2 seasons.
Oh yeah,
awesome
I'm
job.
sure.
Awesome job, Demond.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Yvonne, after seeing 6 games develop over the course of the day, and we saw some good ones. How amped does that leave you to get ready for tomorrow's big game in Mexico?
Oh, well, I mean, definitely looking through all these games. The first game was actually quite interesting to see. It was a great learning experience for everybody. But the rest of the games that were all really, really close and all really tight, and like you saw a lot of them go back and forth, especially that Tallahassee-Baltimore game came down to the wire. But I'm just hoping that the Vancouver, Mexico City, the international contest, and I think you said that was the first one that's
Yes.
ever going to be played, the first international contest.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, I'm very excited for it, and I feel as though it should be a tough, hard-fought game. And going into it, I guess we just got to go in with our heads high and recognize that it's our first game, and things might not go as we expect it to go, but then again, we should come in with our expectations slightly lowered because we don't know what's going to happen. And the first game, after the first game happens and after it's over, regardless whether or not we win or lose, we'll know what to do after coming out of it. We'll know what changes to make. We'll know what things to fix. And more importantly, we'll be able to move forward.
James, you had you got a chance to look at all the games today, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Who outside of Queen City was most impressive, did you think?
Yeah, I was really excited to see what Oklahoma City was doing, considering both of our builds are fairly similar. So it was nice to see that. Steven's team came out firing too, and that was interesting to see. He's always got a great build behind him, and now I think he's kind of figured out, what he wanted to do defensively, and he's figured out, with last season and this season, he's really figured out how to figure out the run game. And so it was exciting to see those 2 games for me, just after seeing how badly the Queen City game went.
Andy, I have to ask you, because you were doing the game. How about the quarterback sneak of Synergy? Like, this is a legit thing that's going on.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, Cam. I've seen it before, and where I saw it was Sioux Falls. They ran the sneak with Tyree a little bit last season, and it was something that it caught people off guard, but wasn't necessarily anything that gained them more than 2 or 3 yards per play. But this tonight, when I saw it again, it was different. I don't know if it was the way that Synergy is built, and if there's a difference between him and Tyree, or if it was just having those 2 tight ends on the end to block a little bit more, or whether it was Alaska's defensive front that just couldn't block it. But it gained them 7 or 8 yards at points, and he had that rushing touchdown. Shabazz Synergy had quite a game on the ground and a rushing touchdown. I mean, that puts him up there with some of these backs that had trouble finding the end zone tonight or today, or different backs that may have found the end zone but have only found it once. He's right there with that 1 touchdown. So I think it's a real running threat. And, even their generic halfback had some good catches out of the backfield. So, while Dallas is built more for throwing, I do think they have a little bit of a rushing offense.
Andy, you have a new guest with us on the show.
Yeah, we went ahead and added Frank because he wanted to join in. Frank and the Tallahassee Pride went ahead and beat Baltimore today in Baltimore, 40-37 on a last-minute field goal. Frank, you guys had to defend a Matt South comeback and stave off the Crabs in Baltimore. Talk to me a little bit about what that was getting like. You were on the call with Ronnie during the game, so people might have heard your thoughts, but for those who might have missed it, what was going through your head as Baltimore started to climb back into it?
By the way, before Frank answers, 4 of the 6 games were won by the road team today.
Wow.
There you go.
Go ahead, Frank. Or not.
Is he there? He might have muted himself on
Score.
accident.
He can score 40 points, but he can't.
He's speechless.
But
Oh, yeah, there you go. He's speechless.
yeah, I'm not quite sure where
He
Frank
has
is.
no words to
I'll
describe.
speak for him. I think Frank. This is his first game without his offensive coordinator, and I think that's a big thing. And so for them to come out and score 40 points and play fairly well, they did give up a lot of points. But who am I to talk? But yeah, I think Frank's first game without his old head coach and offensive coordinator, I think he did phenomenal. It was awesome to watch.
He says he's trying to unmute, so we'll give Frank a few minutes. Cam, you got to sit back and watch that last game, but you've been working most of the day. Which game kind of surprised you the most?
Well, that's a tough one. I really was impressed at how well Carolina played without Johnny English. That was really something. I mean, their generic made a handful of plays that was like, okay, all right, maybe Dallas should give it to the generic running back because maybe he can do something after all. But no, Carolina, it was. They didn't win the game, but if I'm the Skyhawks, I feel pretty good. I lost my offensive coordinator, my defensive coordinator that I've had with this team for the last 3 seasons, and the first game that we ever have with our new staff, we lose our best offensive player and we lose by 6. I'd take that if I'm Carolina.
Oh boy, they were close. They were so close, and if they would have just staved off that one deep Atlanta throw, they would have had it. So hats off to the Carolina coaching staff for, game planning well enough to lose a gold star and still only lose, by 6 points.
Right.
A very tough task. Frank is saying he's live. Frank, are you there?
Can you guys hear me now?
Hey, yep. Mr. 40 points himself, beating Baltimore on a last-minute field goal. If you could, tell everyone what was going through your mind as Baltimore started to climb back in it.
Well, first, let me give James props, man. You're so smooth. Thanks for covering for me there, bro. You did a great job. That's basically how we felt. It was, this is the first game back, and Baltimore is no joke, especially at home. We weren't comfortable with the lead, and then as soon as we started to get comfortable, guess what? The Crabs do what the Crabs do. And so, yeah, it was. I think it's just a great win for us, and it's a confidence booster for us simply because we were able to go there and get the win, and we lost so many of our impact players last season that it was great to see that we could put something together with all these rookies.
Yeah, Matt South, not a rookie, coming over from LA to Baltimore, tried to climb back into that one, and man, it was real fun to hear you and Ronnie on Rabbit talking during the game. That was just a blast. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the day. I also liked the San Antonio and Oklahoma City matchup. I might have been the only one watching it live while other people, Cam, Mike, your dad was there, and Corky was there, and the quarterback for San Antonio was there. But other than that, I think it only had 12 viewers, and I believe a lot of them were probably watching 3 or 4 games at a time. But boy, was that a close one. 28-17, Oklahoma City gets the win, and the Renegades are for real, man. Your dad was talking a little bit of smack because he had been kind of talked down, silenced, forgotten about in the Western Conference, but he proved today that Oklahoma City and the Renegades are for real. Damon, talk if you wouldn't mind. You're in the Western Conference. Did you get to catch any of that game by chance?
Yep, I caught a little bit of it. I was flipping back and forth from game to game. Brewski pretty much put on a show, the old man showed that he still has it, he's like, I'm tired of the old jokes, but
right. Well, and he took the Russian crown in doing so.
Yeah, I mean, what happens, turnovers is what killed San Antonio. They threw a few picks, if I'm not mistaken, and that will cost you anytime, and especially if a team converts points off those turnovers.
James, what stood out to me is that I believe it was on a podcast that you were on, you were talking about how you were concerned a little bit about the Renegades, and people were talking about how if you're investing that much money into a tight end, you better be feeding him, and he was fed today. 13 catches on 16 targets. That had to have raised your eyebrows a little bit.
Yeah, they did a really great job at limiting the garbage plays that their tight end was involved in. And let me explain garbage plays. Garbage plays to me are where the tight end gets caught up with other routes, or gets caught in the double, triple team area of the zones. And they did a really nice job on the corners and fades and out routes to really take advantage of their tight end. Something that we didn't even do today, which is we're in the same boat as them. That's something we need to transition to and figure out how to get the computer to call those plays as well. But they did exactly what their build was meant to do. They ran the ball, and then when they threw it to their tight end, they had really good success.
What else is out there? Damon, who were you most impressed by today outside of your game? Unmute yourself if you can. We'll go to Yvonne with the same question.
I definitely was. First off, I was impressed that Alaska was able to hold on at the end. I thought for sure Dallas was going to be able to pull out a last-second miracle there, and especially with Cochran throwing 3 picks, I think it was. I mean, Alaska's running attack was on point, but the turnovers almost cost them in the end, and blowing that 24-3 lead. I think 2 of the interceptions were after that lead, that 24-3 lead. I think that really Cochran needs to be a little bit more safe with where he's going with the ball, and they would have had that game no problem. But I was really impressed that Dallas was able, even though they lost, that they were able to claw back in there. And their spread attack, I like that approach. I really do like that approach where they were going with the generic halfback and all-star receivers. And I felt, though, although their running game was not very existent, the QB sneaks worked when they had to for the most part. And the quick passes combined with some of the deep passes really had a good effect on kind of scrambling the defense of Alaska. And I think we should watch out for Dallas's offense. I think they're going to be one of the leaders in passing, and I think their offense is going to catch on fire during the season. So despite their loss, I think Dallas has a lot to look up to now.
All right, Damon, same question to you now that you're back.
What was the question? My apologies.
Oh, no, that's all right. Who were you most impressed with outside of your game today? Besides, I think we were all pretty impressed with Queen City. So we can leave them out.
I would have to go with the with OKC and Tallahassee. As it was stated earlier, Tallahassee coming back after not having T-Pat with them this season. Frank, showed great game plan going into Baltimore, like he stated, which is a tough place to play. Trust me, I know. I've been there before. I've also played for that organization. But OKC coming out, with a big win against a great defensive mind of Greg Morris, and pulling away that win there was outstanding. It has to feel great for the old man to be 1-0.
Oh man, he's gonna listen back to that. He's gonna be so upset. I had.
You talking about his dad or Brewski? All I heard was old man.
Here we go. Here we go.
Talking about the general himself, Dad.
All right.
All right, Andy. Well, I don't know about you. I think we can start to put a bow on this. Let's talk about tomorrow night briefly. Your team is in action. We've got Mac Wavy Jr. and his new team as a new coach. We've got all the old faces in Chicago back out on the field. There's plenty of action still to come here.
Oh yeah, get your popcorn ready tomorrow, because at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, Eric's going to kick it off. Cleveland is heading to the Windy City to take on the Chicago Wildcats. Shan And the Wildcats have been making headlines this year, grabbing a bunch of players from a bunch of different teams. And tomorrow night it's going to culminate as the Wildcats take on the Stallions, where Mac Wavy Jr. has his first chance as a head coach to kind of put a name to what kind of offense and defense he's bringing to the field. And then right after that, Vancouver, my team, is heading to Mexico City, and Curtis will be on that call. That'll be at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, both live on YouTube. If you want, Cam, we can talk about. You just want to head down the line and see which game everyone's more excited for and what to kind of look out for in these two games. Cam, which one are you looking forward to?
Oh, well, I can't say specifically one way or the other, because then I'd be playing favorites, and Lord knows everyone thinks I already do that already. But no, I think that the Cleveland-Chicago game is interesting just because there are so many personalities that are involved with those organizations, and those organizations, while there are a lot of old faces attached to those organizations, but again, happy birthday, Ronnie, too. While we're talking about it, it still feels very new for all of those guys involved. So that's a very interesting dynamic. I think that for Vancouver, Mexico City, the one thing I'm looking for is when am I going to get that season 5 defense out of Ramos again? We just haven't seen it. The Gorillas / Aztecs have always been a very strong team, but they get tripped up because their defense just hasn't been what it's been for a few seasons. So I'm really going to be interested to see if what they can bring on that side of the ball against a Vancouver team that really has, things are stacked against them, similar to St. Louis, just because it's a road game against a team that always makes the playoffs. It's a tough place to play, that traditionally has a pretty good home record. So it's those things are fascinating to me. Yvonne, what do you think?
Definitely I'm looking, of course, since I'm on the Legion, looking forward to the Vancouver-Mexico City game the most, although I will be tuning into Cleveland-Chicago. Thinking about the Vancouver-Mexico City game, I noticed that Mexico City from last year has actually changed around their personnel quite a bit, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out for them. I see they jumped onto the influx of gold halfback bandwagon. I pretty sure compared to last year, there are a lot more gold halfbacks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's something that's been working for a lot of teams. And Mexico City, when they were Santa Fe, I think they used to have a gold halfback, but then they switched to bronze maybe, and now they're back to gold again. Regardless, I'm very interested in seeing how Ray Bentley does for them against the Vancouver defense. And on the flip side, looking at their passing game, Matt Wilson's been a staple quarterback for so many years. He's been in the league for so many years, and he's excelled. I think he's been back and forth between a bunch of different ranks. I think gold, silver, bronze, and he's back to bronze again. And he's done well at pretty much every rank, and it'll be interesting to see how their offense plays out this year compared to last year. And looking at Vancouver, I think Andy's done a fantastic job with getting all the rookie owners in. And as we've said before, I think as you've said before on previous broadcasts, we only have 2 returning former SFL players. Is that right? Only 2? And I think the rest are rookie owners. And
yep.
Yeah, just that fact. It's crazy to see how passionate all of the rookie owners are in the group chat in Discord, and how everybody's paying attention to what's going on, and how everybody's really excited for the games. And I feel as though the fire that the young team will bring, although it might take maybe a few seasons for us to get really going, I think the fire behind our starting lineup is really going to propel us to great things in the future. If not during this season, you never know what'll happen. and I think we'll definitely have a clearer view of where this team is looking forward to after this first game against Mexico City, and we'll see what changes need to be made. But I'm really excited to be playing under Andy, and I'm really excited to be facing Ramos, who actually was my old coach. I, back 2 seasons ago, was a generic linebacker for the Santa Fe Gorillas.
Oh, man, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew the name from somewhere. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Blast from the past. Wow.
And now I'm running back for the Vancouver Legion, and I'm hoping to leave my mark on that Mexico City defense, and hopefully I can follow in the footsteps of some of the running backs that had great showings today. Talking about great showings, like especially that showing in the first game from Mr. Who's Doug Bose. I mean, what happened to him? But yeah.
Yeah. Bose who basically is what Kyle Walsh was saying on the field
Bose
today.
Who.
Just by his performance alone. James, well, first off, I want to give a shout out to Alex Bond 45, who earlier tonight said, "I never thought in my entire life I would find a great deal of enjoyment watching the AI play football." Well, join the club, because we probably all didn't think that it was going to be that great until we actually did it. James, what catches your eye as we head into Monday?
Yeah, so Vancouver and Mexico City are coming in with very similar builds. There's a few key differences, but I think the breakdown will be how both teams have bronze quarterbacks. If the quarterbacks play well, both of them are throwing to 3 star receivers and a star tight end, so they both have plenty of weapons. They both have running backs that can make things happen. So you'll see a very heavy offensive show, I think. I think it'll be very similar to the Baltimore Tallahassee game. I think we'll see an ending like that. So that's kind of my prediction there. I'm really excited to watch Chicago and Cleveland. Mac Wavy Jr. has got something special, a very defensive heavy team, and he's got a couple receivers, so they're just going to line up in shotgun and chuck the ball and play good defense. And it'll be interesting to see Chicago that's built fairly balanced and how they go ahead and attack it. So,
all right, Damond, Monday Night Football. What's going on in your head?
There's nothing like Monday Night Football presented by the SFL. I'll tell you that much. As I would be here in my little room writing a paper for school, I will also be tuned into the games. I'm looking forward to see what Chicago is going to do, man. They have all those pieces over there, and I was just thinking earlier, are they going to win ball games? Will they make the playoffs? They have great assets that was added to their team during the offseason, but will the game plan be put together that will suit the skill sets of those players? It's great to have great players on your team, but will you operate to help will you have a system put in place, shall I say, that will help your organization win ball games? So it's going to be great to see what Shan has put in place over there, along with the offensive coordinator who was with Houston last season, Deion Hawkins. I know he's pretty much going to take some assets that he learned over here with us over to Chicago, which will be great. And just kudos to them for that. I also want to see what Shane's going to do in Vancouver. I mean, not Shane. I'm sorry, Andy. Andy's going to do in Vancouver. He's over here in the West now. You always want to see teams that you're going to be facing, how they do in their debuts and so forth. So I'm just looking for just great games tomorrow as I sit here and write this 10-page paper. So.
Yeah, I would say so far a mixed bag of reviews. St. Louis humbled a little bit by the champs. San Antonio kind of struggled out of the gate, but we saw some pretty good debuts out of Carolina. We saw Baltimore bounce back with a nice showing. So it was a mixed bag for sure for some of the new faces around the league. I would say that Atlanta look sharp defensively. I know that Eric Vincent's working with the defense over there, so all that's good stuff. Frank, you and Ronnie, Frank, close us out here. You and Ronnie were talking on the broadcast, and as I said in the chat, I had all 4 games blaring in my headset because it helps me keep track of big plays and moments so that I can update scores. And I briefly heard Ronnie say something to the effect of, it's great to have the SFL back. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I do think you heard that correctly. And I think it's a sentiment that across the board, I mean, we all are so thankful to be able to come to game one. It not only did Ronnie say it, but it was echoed all through the different boards throughout on YouTube and all the games today. So yeah, bottom line is it's just great to have the SFL back, and we're not done yet. I'm definitely interested in tomorrow's game with Chicago because, as you guys know, they've got Ethan King and AJ Barnes, two high impact players from my team last year, and I want to see what Shan does. Shan's their coach, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shan's their owner. I know they've got Deion Hawkins runs the offense, and I believe King is in charge of some defense. Barnes is in charge of some defense, and then I know that Marie Spurgeon is doing some administrative stuff over there. So they, like St. Louis, pretty big staff. Big staff.
Yeah, and they're dedicated. So, I think they have the potential to surprise people, especially if you sleep on them. So I don't intend to do that. I want to see what they bring. And yeah, so bottom line, it's just a beautiful thing. As we all know, with you at the head, Cam, SFL is a beautiful thing, and it's great to be back.
It is good to be back. It felt good today. Andy, this was your show. I was just helping out to assist since all of our regular equipment was not up and functioning yet. But why don't you go ahead and sign us out?
Sure. For all of us here on the Postgame show and for everyone at SFL Nation, it's been a wonderful day one of week one. Tomorrow night at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, and 7 Central, 8 Eastern, we will have the final 2 games of week one, and then it's on to week 2. And then we are 10 weeks away from the playoffs. SFL Nation, have a great night.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you, everybody. The following has been a special presentation of the Simulation Football League. For more information on the SFL, visit simulationfl.net.